If you've been told to eat more vegetables for better health, you need to hear this now. One of those vegetables sitting in your refrigerator might be the real reason behind your dropping energy, growing prostate, and disappearing erections. It suggests that men over 50 might be slowly losing their manhood not just due to aging, but because they're eating what's commonly perceived as healthy.
Wow, disappearing erections and losing your manhood, that's certainly a way to grab attention. So the document is essentially saying that certain vegetables contain hidden compounds that boost estrogen, stiffen your arteries, and inflame your prostate. And the irony is, many of these are labeled heart-healthy by well-meaning experts. That's a pretty strong claim, David.
It is, Emily, and it challenges a lot of conventional wisdom. The document promises to share 5 overlooked vegetables that science suggests can help men reclaim their vitality, support prostate health, boost confidence, and restore blood flow. And conversely, it identifies 5 vegetables men should stop eating right away if circulation, testosterone, and sex drive are important to them. It even includes a bonus tip on cooking for maximum nutrient absorption.
Okay, I'm hooked. Let's dive into these shocking facts. Where do we begin with the vegetables that might be quietly undermining men's health?
We start with what the document calls most surprising, a vegetable with a great reputation for health, but which might be a main cause of declining energy. It introduces us to John, a 65-year-old retired teacher who is experiencing low energy, constant tiredness, and a vanished spark in the bedroom. His tests showed low testosterone and unusually high estrogen for his age. And the key insight came when he mentioned switching to heart-healthier choices like tofu, soy milk, and edamame snacks on his cardiologist's advice.
Ah, I see where this is going. Soy, I remember reading that part. It's often touted as a superfood, especially for plant-based diet. What's the issue here, according to the document?
The document states that soy is loaded with phytoestrogens, plant compounds that act like the female hormone estrogen in a man's body. For men over 50, whose natural testosterone levels are already declining, adding these estrogen-mimicking compounds can further throw off their hormone balance. This can lead to lower sex drive, a softer, more tired-looking body, and issues with erection.
So it's not just about direct consumption like tofu, but also how it sneaks into your diet through processed snack, protein bars, sauces, and meat substitute. That's a really important point because many people might not even realize how much soy they're consuming daily.
Absolutely, the food industry uses soy extensively because it's cheap and has that health halo. The document emphasizes that while soy isn't poison, it's a food men over 50, especially those dealing with fatigue or performance issues, might want to avoid. John's story is a powerful example. Replacing soy with clean protein sources led to more energy within weeks, and his wife even sent a thank you note saying, "Doctor, you gave me back my husband."
That's a pretty compelling anecdote. Building on this concept, David, what are some clean protein sources that could replace soy for men looking to make this switch? And are there any specific types of soy that might be less problematic? Or is it a blanket recommendation to avoid it?
That's a great question, Emily. When we talk about clean protein sources, we're generally looking at things like grass-fed beef, pasture-raised poultry, wild-caught fish, and eggs. For plant-based options, legumes like lentils and chickpeas, nuts, and seeds can be excellent choices, though they come with their own consideration. The document's focus is primarily on the phytoestrogen content, which is present in most forms of soy, especially the highly processed ones like soy protein isolate found in many bars and meat substitutes. Fermented soy products like tempeh or natto are sometimes considered to have a different impact due to the fermentation process, which can break down some of the anti-nutrients and potentially alter the phytoestrogen profile. However, for men over 50 specifically concerned about estrogenic effects, the document's strong recommendation is to cut back or avoid it completely, especially if experiencing symptoms.
So it's about being mindful of the cumulative effect, particularly when your body's natural hormonal balance is already shifting with age. Got it. What's the next healthy food with a dark side on our list?
Next up is corn, but with a crucial distinction. The document clarifies it's not talking about the fresh corn on the cob you eat at a summer cookout. Instead, it's about corn as a foundation of our modern diet: corn syrup, cornstarch, corn oil, and countless processed foods made with corn. This processed form is linked to chronic inflammation, which can harden arteries and redirect blood flow.
Ah, the processed forms. That makes a lot more sense. So it's not the innocent ear of corn, but the ubiquitous ingredients derived from it. it. The document introduces Richard, a 58-year-old with erectile dysfunction, constant tiredness, and joint pain. He was trying to be healthy by switching from butter to corn-based vegetable oil margarine, but it was making things worse.
Precisely, Richard's problem was chronic inflammation. Processed corn is rich in omega-6 fatty acids. While our bodies they need to be balanced with omega-3s. The modern diet, as the document points out, has a severely imbalanced ratio, with omega-6 intake up to 20 times higher than it should be. This imbalance creates a constant state of low-grade inflammation, damaging the endothelium, which produces nitric oxide. Less nitric oxide means hardened, less flexible arteries and significantly decreased blood flow, including to the penis.
So it's like a slow internal fire that's damaging the very pathways essential for vitality. And inflammation is also linked to joint pain, fatigue, and prostate enlargement. Richard's heart-healthy diet was actually fueling this inflammation. What was the solution for him?
For Richard, the solution was to dramatically increase his omega-3 intake with fatty fish like salmon and high-quality fish oil supplements, and eliminate processed seed oils like corn and soy. The transformation was remarkable. Lessened joint pain, improved vascular health, and the return of morning energy and erections. The takeaway here is to read those labels and be aware of corn oil, soy oil, and corn syrup.
That's a huge one, David. Processed seed oils are in almost everything. Building on this, what are some practical tips for listeners to reduce their omega-6 intake from processed corn and other seed oils? And what are some good sources of omega-3s beyond salmon and fish oil?
Excellent point, Emily. Reducing processed seed oils means being a diligent label reader. Look for corn oil, soybean oil, canola oil, sunflower oil, safflower oil, and cottonseed oil in packaged foods, dressings, and fried items. Opt for cooking oils like olive oil, avocado oil, or coconut oil for higher heat. When eating out, be mindful that many restaurants use these cheaper seed oils. As for omega-3s beyond fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines, plant-based sources include flax seeds, chia seeds, and walnuts. Algae oil is also a fantastic vegan source of EPA and DHA, the active forms of omega-3s found in fish. The key is consistency in incorporating these into your diet and actively reducing the inflammatory.
So it's not just about adding the good, but actively removing the bad. Makes sense. What's the third contradictory villain on our list?
This one truly surprises many people: raw spinach. The document calls it the darling of the health community, but reveals its dark secret, especially for men over 50. It's about large amounts of raw spinach, particularly in things like detox smoothies.
Raw spinach, but it's in every green smoothie recipe. I've been told it's packed with iron and vitamins. What's the issue here?
The issue lies with a compound called oxalate. Raw spinach is one of the richest sources of oxalates. The document describes oxalates as tiny nutrient thieves that bind to essential minerals in your digestive tract and pull them out of your body before you can absorb them. And the mineral oxalates love to steal is zinc.
And zinc, as we know, is like gold for a man, critical for testosterone production and prostate health. So Bill, the 64-year-old marathon runner who started each day with a big green smoothie packed with raw spinach, was unknowingly robbing his body of zinc, leading to low testosterone and a missing sex drive, despite eating other zinc-rich food.
Exactly, the document isn't saying don't eat spinach. It's rich in magnesium and other minerals. The key is not what but how. Simply cooking spinach, even heating it for a few minutes, significantly reduces its oxalate content, allowing your body to absorb those vital minerals. Bill's testosterone and zinc levels began to rise within weeks after switching to an omelet with sautéed spinach.
That's such a simple but profound change. It really highlights how preparation can completely alter the nutritional impact of a food. Beyond spinach, David, are there other common foods high in oxalates that men should be mindful of, especially if they're concerned about mineral absorption?
Absolutely, Emily. While spinach is a big one, other foods high in oxalates include rhubarb, beet greens, almonds, cashews, and even chocolate. For most people, moderate consumption of these foods, especially when cooked, isn't an issue. However, for individuals with a history of kidney stones or those specifically trying to optimize mineral absorption for testosterone, being mindful of high oxalate foods and their preparation is wise. Cooking, soaking, and fermenting can all help reduce oxalate content, and ensuring adequate calcium intake can also help, as calcium binds to oxalates in the gut, preventing their absorption.
Fascinating. So it's not just about what's on your plate, but how it gets there. What's next on our list of surprising vegetables?
Next, we have a whole family of vegetables, nightshades. These include tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, and white potatoes. The document notes that many men don't realize that a whole family of common vegetables can trigger joint pain and inflammation in sensitive individuals.
Nightshades? I've heard of these being problematic for some people, especially those with autoimmune conditions or arthritis. So it's not just a general recommendation, but more about individual sensitivity.
Exactly. The document explains that for some men, especially those with existing inflammatory conditions, nightshades contain compounds called alkaloids that can increase inflammation. This inflammation isn't just confined to joints. It can impact the entire system, including blood flow and hormone production. George, a 72-year-old with low energy, creeping PSA levels, and constant stiffness, felt like the Tin Man from Oz every morning. A 2-week trial without nightshades significantly decreased his morning stiffness, and his PSA levels even stabilized over time.
That's a powerful testament to the impact of diet on inflammation. It sounds like an elimination diet could be a useful tool here for men who suspect nightshades might be an issue. What are some common signs that someone might be sensitive to nightshades beyond just joint pain?
That's a great question, Emily. Beyond joint pain and stiffness, which are the most commonly reported symptoms, some individuals might experience digestive issues like bloating, gas, or heartburn. Skin issues, headaches, or even fatigue can also be indicators for sensitive individuals. It's important to note that nightshade sensitivity is not universal. Many people consume them without any problems. However, if someone is experiencing chronic inflammatory symptoms and has exhausted other avenues, a temporary elimination diet, as described with George, can be a very insightful diagnostic tool. It's about listening to your body and seeing how it responds.
So it's not a bad food for everyone, but definitely something to investigate if you're experiencing unexplained inflammation. What's the final vegetable to watch out for?
The fifth one is processed potatoes. The document clarifies it's not the potato itself, but how it's typically prepared. We're talking about French fries, potato chips, and other processed potato products, which are often cooked at high temperatures that create compounds called acrylamides.
Acrylamides, I've heard of those. Aren't they linked to some pretty serious health concerns?
They are. The document states that these compounds have been linked to increased oxidative stress and inflammation in the body for men over 50 whose antioxidant systems are already less efficient. This additional oxidative burden can accelerate aging and hormone decline. Frank, a 63-year-old business owner, couldn't understand his declining health despite a mostly vegetarian diet, until they realized his daily sandwich and bag of chips were creating a steady stream of these harmful compounds.
Another example of how seemingly innocent daily habits can have a cumulative negative effect. So the solution for Frank was to switch to boiled or baked potatoes with the skin on, which made a significant difference in his inflammation markers. It really drives home the point that preparation matters.
Absolutely. It's about choosing whole, minimally processed forms of food and being mindful of cooking methods. Building on this, Emily, what are some other common sources of acrylamides that our listeners might encounter, and what are safer cooking methods in general?
That's a crucial point, David. Acrylamides form when starchy foods are cooked at high temperatures, especially through frying, roasting, or baking. Besides processed potatoes, common sources include toast, breakfast cereals, biscuits, and even coffee. The darker the toast or the crispier the chip, the more acrylamides it likely contains. Safer cooking methods involve lower temperatures and shorter cooking times, like boiling, steaming, or stewing. If you are roasting or baking, aim for a golden yellow color rather than dark brown and avoid charring. Soaking potatoes before frying can also reduce acrylamide formation. It's all about minimizing that high heat browning reaction.
Excellent advice, Emily. So to recap the villains: soy, processed corn, raw spinach, nightshades for sensitive individuals, and processed potatoes. It's a powerful list that really makes you rethink your grocery cart. But now let's flip the script, as the document says, and focus on the power of rebuilding. What are the 5 essential vegetables for men over 50?
Yes, let's get to the good stuff. I'm ready for some heroes. What's the first one?
Our first hero is the undisputed champion of circulation, beets. The document calls them a one-man army if poor circulation is the enemy. Remember John's feeling of no pressure in the system? beets are the simple answer.
Beets, I love beets, so what's their superpower?
They're among the richest natural food sources of nitrate. When you eat beets, your body converts these nitrates into nitric oxide, which is the master molecule that relaxes and opens your blood vessels so blood can flow vigorously throughout your body. Think of it like turning a kinked garden hose into a firefighter's hose. Studies show beet juice can significantly lower blood pressure and improve endothelial function.
That's incredible. Nitric oxide is so crucial for cardiovascular health and, by extension, erectile function. But the document also mentions that how you consume beets matters a lot. What's the catch?
The catch is that the magic of beets is diminished when they're pickled or preserved. The high heat for canning and long storage destroys a large percentage of those healthy nitrates. Even worse, pickling adds vinegar and sodium, which can narrow arteries and counteract the benefit. So, fresh beets, whether grated in a salad, lightly roasted, or steamed, are essential for the benefits.
So, fresh is best for beets to get that nitric oxide boost. That's a great tip. Building on this, David, are there other foods that are also good sources of nitrates that can contribute to nitric oxide production?
Absolutely, Emily. While beets are indeed the champions, other leafy green vegetables are also excellent sources of nitrates. Think about arugula, spinach, kale, and Swiss chard. These greens, when consumed fresh or lightly cooked, can also contribute significantly to nitric oxide production. It's about incorporating a variety of these nitrate-rich foods into your diet regularly to support optimal circulation and cardiovascular health. And remember, the document's emphasis on fresh preparation applies to these as well.
Variety is key as always. What's our second hero vegetable?
Our second hero is the champion of hormonal balance, broccoli. The document highlights its importance for protecting the prostate and detoxifying estrogen, but again, it only works if it's prepared correctly.
Broccoli, another classic healthy vegetable. So what's the secret compound here and how do we prepare it correctly?
Broccoli, along with other cruciferous vegetables like cauliflower, contains sulforaphane. This compound is described as revolutionary because it reduces systemic inflammation, aids liver detoxification, and most importantly for older men, helps clear excess estrogen, promoting a balanced testosterone level. The big catch, however, is that sulforaphane is very sensitive to heat. Overcooking or microwaving destroys most of it, leaving just a lifeless stalk that gives you fiber, but not the hormonal protection.
So Robert, the patient with bloating and brain fog, was microwaving his broccoli until it was really soft, unknowingly destroying the very nutrient his body needed. The simple change to steaming broccoli for no more than 3-4 minutes, or eating it raw, led to returning energy, decreased nighttime urination, and a clearer mind. This is such a critical point about cooking method.
It truly is, Emily. It's a small adjustment, but as the document says, small things matter for men over 50. Repeated habits can either help or hurt. Many men think they're doing the right thing by eating more vegetables, but they don't realize how preparation makes a huge difference. Building on this, what are some other cruciferous vegetables rich in sulforaphane? And what are some creative ways to incorporate them raw or lightly cooked?
Great question, David. Besides broccoli, other fantastic sources of sulforaphane include Brussels sprouts, cabbage, kale, and cauliflower. For creative ways to eat them raw or lightly cooked, think about finely shredding cabbage or Brussels sprouts for a crunchy slaw. Cauliflower can be grated into rice for salad. Broccoli florets are great in stir fries, but remember to add them towards the end of cooking or simply steam them lightly. Even broccoli sprouts are incredibly potent sources of sulforaphane and can be added to sandwiches or salad. The key is to preserve that delicate compound.
Fantastic suggestions, Emily. It's all about maximizing the nutritional punch. What's our third forgotten hero?
Our third hero is the silent guardian of your testosterone, mushrooms. Specifically, the common white button mushrooms you can buy at any grocery store. The document says they're a true natural pharmacy for men's hormonal health.
Mushrooms, this is another surprising one for many. The document brings back Bill, the runner who, despite improved zinc levels from cooking his spinach, still felt his libido and competitive drive were low. The missing piece was an enzyme called aromatase.
Aromatase, the testosterone thief, it converts precious testosterone into estrogen, and its activity increases with age, especially with extra belly fat. So Bill's testosterone was being converted too quickly.
Exactly, and this is where mushrooms shine. The document cites scientific studies like those from the Beckman Beckman Research Institute, showing that simple white button mushrooms contain compounds that act as natural aromatase inhibitors. They don't directly increase testosterone production. Instead, they act like bodyguards by preventing the enzyme from converting existing testosterone to estrogen, thus protecting it.
So more of that free active testosterone stays in the bloodstream, boosting vitality, sex drive, mental clarity, and muscle mass. When Bill started eating sautéed mushrooms with garlic and olive oil a couple of times a week, he felt a new depth to his voice and the drive is back. That's a powerful endorsement for a common mushroom.
It truly is. It highlights how simple, accessible foods can have profound effects. Building on this, David, are there specific types of mushrooms that are particularly potent as aromatase inhibitors, or is it generally all common culinary mushroom? That's a fantastic question, Emily. While the document specifically mentions common white button mushrooms, research suggests that many culinary mushrooms, including cremini, portobello, and even some medicinal mushrooms like reishi and shiitake, contain compounds with aromatase inhibiting properties. The key seems to be the presence of certain phytochemicals like conjugated linoleic acid, CLA, and various triterpenes, which are found across different mushroom species. So, incorporating a variety of mushrooms into your diet is likely beneficial, not just for aromatase inhibition, but also for their broader immune modulating and anti-inflammatory effects. It's another example of how diverse, whole foods contribute to overall health.
So don't be afraid to explore the mushroom aisle. What's our fourth vegetable hero?
Our fourth hero, though not technically a vegetable, is a powerful ally: garlic. The document calls it a potent circulation booster and natural blood thinner. For men over 50 concerned about heart health and circulation, which directly impacts erectile function, garlic is a simple daily addition that pays huge dividends.
Garlic? I love garlic. It's in so many dishes. What's the active compound here?
The active compound is allicin, which helps relax blood vessels and improve blood flow throughout the body. Harold, a 68-year-old with borderline high blood pressure, added fresh crushed garlic to his meals daily. Within 3 months, his blood pressure normalized and he reported things working better in all departments. The key with garlic, the document notes, is to crush it and let it sit for 10 minutes before cooking to allow the beneficial compounds to form, and then add it toward the end of cooking for maximum benefit.
That's a great practical tip about crushing and waiting. I've heard that before, but it's easy to forget in the rush of cooking. Building on this, David, are there other allicin-rich foods or similar compounds in the allium family that offer comparable benefits?
Absolutely, Emily. The allium family, which includes onions, leeks, chives, and shallots, all contain similar sulfur-containing compounds, though garlic is generally considered the most potent for allicin. These compounds are known for their cardiovascular benefits, anti-inflammatory properties, and even some anti-cancer effects. The crush and wait method is particularly important for garlic to maximize allicin formation, but incorporating a variety of these allium vegetables into your diet regularly will contribute to overall health and circulation. They're not just flavor enhancers, they're functional foods.
So more garlic, more onions, more good stuff. What's our fifth and final hero?
Our fifth hero is a category: cooked leafy greens like kale, collard, and yes, cooked spinach. These are powerhouses delivering magnesium, potassium, and vitamin K, all critical for cardiovascular health and hormone production. The key difference, again, is cooking them to reduce those oxalates we discussed earlier.
So it's a full circle back to spinach, but this time cooked. A simple sauté with olive oil and garlic transforms these greens from potential mineral thieves to testosterone-supporting superfood. Victor, a 75-year-old, made a habit of having a small side of sautéed greens with dinner and found his energy had never been better.
It's a perfect example of how understanding food preparation can unlock the true potential of even common vegetables. It's not about eliminating, but optimizing. Building on this, Emily, what are some other nutrient-dense leafy greens that are particularly beneficial when cooked? And what are some easy ways to incorporate them into daily meals?
Excellent point, David. Beyond kale, collard, and spinach, Swiss chard, mustard greens, and turnip greens are also incredibly nutrient-dense and benefit from cooking to reduce oxalates and make their nutrients more bioavailable. Easy ways to incorporate them include adding a handful to soups, stews, or pasta sauces during the last few minutes of cooking. They can be sautéed with garlic and a splash of lemon juice as a quick side dish, or even blended into cooked dishes like casseroles. The goal is to make them a regular, enjoyable part of your diet, not a chore.
Fantastic! So to summarize our heroes, fresh beets for nitric oxide, properly prepared broccoli for hormone balance, mushrooms to protect testosterone, garlic for circulation, and cooked leafy greens for essential minerals. It's a powerful lineup of accessible, everyday foods.
And now for the bonus tip you promised, David, the forgotten mineral of male vitality.
Yes, the bonus tip is boron. The document describes it as a trace mineral that gets little attention, but science shows it's incredibly powerful. Boron can reduce a blood protein called SHBG, or sex hormone-binding globulin, which binds to testosterone and makes it inactive or useless. By reducing SHBG, boron helps increase your free testosterone, the kind that really matters for strength, energy, and libido.
So it's not about making more testosterone, but making the testosterone you have more effective. That's brilliant. And how do we get boron without expensive supplements?
The document says you don't need expensive supplement. Great sources include foods like dates, raisins, and our hero, avocado. Including a few dates in your smoothie or a handful of raisins as a snack is one easy way to ensure the testosterone your body makes is actually usable. It's the invisible force that makes everything else work better.
Dates, raisins, and avocado, those are all delicious and easy to incorporate. It's amazing how these small, often overlooked dietary components can have such a significant impact on something as crucial as hormone availability. Building on this, David, are there any other trace minerals that play a similarly understated but vital role in men's health that listeners might want to be aware of?
That's a really insightful question, Emily, because boron is a perfect example of how micronutrients can be game changers. Beyond boron, another trace mineral that often flies under the radar but is crucial for men's health is selenium. Selenium is a powerful antioxidant and plays a vital role in thyroid function, which in turn impacts metabolism and energy levels. It's also essential for sperm quality and motility. Good sources include Brazil nuts, just 1 or 2 a day can provide your daily needs, as well as seafood, eggs, and sunflower seed. Like boron, it's about ensuring adequate intake through whole foods rather than relying solely on supplements, unless there's a diagnosed deficiency. These trace minerals often work synergistically, so a diverse, nutrient-rich diet is always the best approach.
That's fantastic to know. So we've covered the villains and the heroes and even a bonus mineral. This has been an incredibly comprehensive look at how vegetables and their preparation impact men's health, particularly over 50. It really challenges the eat more vegetables mantra to be more nuanced.
It absolutely does, Emily. The overarching theme here is personalized nutrition and the importance of understanding how specific foods interact with our bodies, especially as we age. It's not about demonizing entire food groups, but about making informed choices based on scientific understanding and individual needs. The document's examples of John, Richard, Bill, George, and Frank really bring these concepts to life, showing real-world impacts.
And it's not just about avoiding the bad and eating the good. It's also about how we prepare these foods. The emphasis on cooking spinach, lightly steaming broccoli, and crushing garlic for maximum benefit is a game changer for many. It's a practical implementation of nutritional science.
Precisely, this leads us to some broader implications and challenges. One major challenge is overcoming ingrained dietary habits and the pervasive influence of the food industry. Many of the villain foods, like processed corn and soy, are so deeply embedded in our food supply that avoiding them requires conscious effort and label reading. Another challenge is the sheer volume of conflicting dietary advice out there. This document provides a specific perspective for men over 50, focusing on hormonal balance, inflammation, and circulation, which are critical for vitality.
That's so true. It can be overwhelming. So what are some actionable takeaways for our listeners who want to start implementing these changes? Where should they begin?
Great question. First, start with awareness. Read labels diligently to identify hidden soy and processed corn oils. Second, focus on preparation. Cook your spinach, lightly steam your broccoli, and crush your garlic. Third, experiment with the hero vegetables. Incorporate fresh beets, a variety of mushrooms, and cooked leafy greens into your meals. Fourth, consider an elimination trial for nightshades if you suspect inflammatory issues. And finally, don't forget the boron-rich foods like dates, raisins, and avocado.
It sounds like a holistic approach, David. It's not just about diet, but also about understanding your body's unique responses and being proactive. This isn't just about reclaiming manhood in a narrow sense. It's about overall longevity, quality of life, and feeling strong and confident at any age.
Absolutely, Emily. This discussion connects to broader themes of proactive aging, metabolic health, and the power of lifestyle interventions. It's about taking control of your health narrative rather than passively accepting age-related decline. The document's message is one of empowerment. The solution to reclaiming your vitality is often on your plate, not in a pill bottle.
I love that. On your plate, not in a pill bottle. It's a powerful reminder that our daily choices have profound impacts. This has been an incredibly insightful and practical discussion, David. I feel like I've learned so much, and I'm not even a man over 50.
And that's the beauty of it, Emily. Many of these principles, like reducing inflammation, improving circulation, and supporting hormonal balance, are beneficial for everyone, regardless of age or gender. So to wrap things up, let's reiterate the main takeaways for our listeners. We've identified 5 vegetables or categories to approach with caution, especially for men over 50. Soy due to its phytoestrogens, processed corn for its inflammatory omega-6s, raw spinach for its oxalate-induced zinc theft, nightshades if you're sensitive to their alkaloids, and processed potatoes because of harmful acrylamide. The common thread here is often the asterisk processing asterisk or asterisk preparation that turns a potentially healthy food into a problematic one.
And on the flip side, we've celebrated 5 heroes that can significantly boost male vitality. Fresh beets for nitric oxide and circulation, properly prepared broccoli for estrogen detoxification and prostate health, common mushrooms as natural aromatase inhibitors to protect testosterone, garlic for its allicin-driven circulation benefit, and cooked leafy greens for essential minerals like magnesium and potassium. And let's not forget that bonus tip, boron, found in dates, raisins, and avocados, to increase free active testosterone by reducing SHBG.
Exactly. The actionable insights are clear. Be a conscious consumer, read your labels, and pay attention to how you prepare your food. Small changes in these areas can lead to significant improvements in energy, prostate health, confidence, and overall vitality. This isn't about a restrictive diet, but an informed and empowering approach to eating.
So for anyone listening, whether you're a man over 50 or simply interested in optimizing your health, we highly encourage you to review the document we discussed today. It's packed with even more detail and personal stories that truly bring these concepts to life, and start experimenting with these changes in your own kitchen.
Absolutely, your health journey is a personal one, and knowledge is your most powerful tool. If this discussion resonated with you, please share it with someone you care about. And don't forget to subscribe to the Vitality Vault and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next deep dive into living a stronger, sharper, and more confident life after 50. Thank you for joining us on this journey and for your trust.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We'll catch you next time on the Vitality Vault.